Hello everybody, welcome to our Palworld Survival Guide. We are talking about lumbering pals today and how to make them more efficient. As well as maybe why you might want to, make it a little bit faster than they would be otherwise. So the very first thing that you can do to make your lumbering pals more efficient is to make the Stump and Axe Structure, which you will get at level 28 and unlock with 2 technology points. As you can read here, it says, place in a base to improve the lumbering efficiency of pals. So we will unlock that. We're going to build this as well because, you know what? We could always use more efficiency. And just because it is a little bit... it has to do with the lumbering, we're just going to put it over here. It's really kind of just like a decorative item. You don't have to worry about your pals having access to it. And I'll just put him out here to make that. But to build that, you are going to need... where we go? There we are. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You'll need 150 wood, 40 ingots, and 30 stone. And basically what that does is it just makes all lumbering pals, when they're doing like the lumbering activity, it'll just make them a little bit faster at their job. So if all you have is like tier 1 lumbering pals, that's going to make them, better than other, than they were before, basically, without it. So even if all you have is level, like, tier 1 lumbering pals, having this in your base is going to make them just efficient. So that's pretty great, even if, you haven't progressed to the next stage of pals. Now, when you are ready to get your higher tier lumbering pals, that's kind of like the second part, obviously, replacing pals, improving them, and there are a few that you can, that are out there and ideal for lumbering. Tansy, actually, over here is great for, like, starters, just because he does a lot of different things. And you can see he's actually moving pretty gosh darn fast. Now, granted, this is a lucky Tansy, so he's a little bit better already. But, Tansy's pretty good. He's also can be like a transporter, too, so he can take this wood as needed and put it where it needs to go. Now, once you are ready to move on, get into higher tier pals, you might want to aim potentially for Ether Deer, which I don't know if I have one of those guys, actually. I might... well, there we go. They're in the distance, right over there. Those guys, the purple elks, if you will. And that's because their one job... oh, hi, it's in around. Their one job is to do lumbering, which is, what you want them for. You should go back to making that button. When you have obviously you can with the monitoring stand, you can control your pals a little bit better because you can turn off certain activities for them, let them focus on one, but you don't have to worry about that when it comes to the Ether Deer, just because that's the one thing that they do that they can get done, and that's kind of just great in terms of just keeping yourself kind of like organized and whatnot. You don't have to worry about a pal not using another work skill that it might have because you have them focusing on just one. So, pretty good. And it's also level 2 in lumbering, so they're going to already be a little bit faster than your level 1s. And if you have, the Stump and Axe, then, that's going to make them even faster too. Now, once you're ready to go, kind of like for the top tier lumberers, you're going to be going, I personally would recommend either Wumpo Botan, or Bushi. Bushi's pretty gosh darn fast at lumbering, so that's kind of like why I recommend that. And then the ideal thing about the Wumpos is that they also have a high level in transport as well, so they can go ahead and get the lumber really fast, but then they can also transport it really fast. They're kind of like, covering those two things, being very efficient at both. So that's kind of how I would kind of recommend maybe going for those. Obviously, if you have your own lumbering pal that you just love, go for that. Do what you love, right? But if you want efficiency, those are the two that I kind of recommend. Now, on top of that, there are skills that you should look for in your pals that can make them even faster at working in general. Artisan, for example, gives them 50% work speed increase. If they're lucky, like our Tansy was, they get a plus 15% work speed as well as plus 15% attack. So, good base defender and a good worker there. There's also the Workaholic passive skill that basically reduces sanity depletion by 15%, so they'll need to take fewer breaks, which is always good. That means they're working faster, working longer. There's Diet Lover, which reduces hunger by 15%, so they're not going to be hungry as quickly. So again, they're able to just focus on doing their lumbering. And then I would just say, if you're having your lumberer also be your transporter, so they're kind of like taking the wood and probably taking other things too, let's be honest, to like your chests, then having the Swift skill is also very helpful. That gives them like a 30% movement speed boost. So that just means, they're going to be running around faster and transporting what they need, and then they're able to go back to their lumbering and to get all that done. So that could be a helpful like add-on if that is a kind of build that you're going towards. So those are kind of like the three main ways that you can make your lumbering pals, faster at what they do. And then, you might be wondering, why should I care? Well, lumber is pretty gosh darn important. It's used in so many crafting things and repairing things, so you're always going to need some wood. And then also you need wood to make fiber. And fiber is another kind of like commonish resource, I would say, especially early on. So having a good amount of wood available means you have that not only for crafting, but also you can turn it into fiber, which is then used for crafting. So just having, a lot of that on hand just makes life a little bit nicer. But let me know what you guys' favorite lumbering pal is. I'm very curious to know. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep surviving and keep thriving.